Hi there, a very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm live in this live session with you all on YouTube. Slightly late than 11 o'clock, as I mentioned, but we'll be talking about a couple of stocks, a couple of companies in the agri space that are set to do well over the next 3 4 months. I believe that the markets have now settled down. We'll talk about the markets as well, but I believe that the markets have settled down, and it's time to buy some of the gems in different industries. And I bring to you today a couple of companies that I believe have come down from recent highs or have been consolidating, and something that will do well over the next 3 4 months or so from the agri space, because agri space could set to do well once the monsoon is around from May, June onwards. So we are not far off from there. It's time to build positions in there. All right. And so I'll answer your queries as well. So we'll talk about these two companies. Before that, we'll talk about a little bit about the markets. And then I'll answer your queries as well in this 20 25 minutes session that we are going to have. So not quite having a session with the pure sunlight, so that's why it's slightly darker. It's quite overcast here again, and slightly chilly here in the north. Hopefully things are much better in the west and south, and people there in Mumbai, etc. And Probably summers would be around here soon as well. There's a very long winter season that continues here. All right, so I'm just waiting for more people to join in. I know that it is a Thursday morning and most of the people will be in their offices, etc. But let's have 40 50 people at least join in and then begin the session in earnest. Saeed, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're doing well, Saeed. Uh, and hopefully your investment journey, all of you having your investment journey must be doing well. Venkat, hi. Uh, Ranjan, hi, and thanks for the support on YouTube. And I would like to thank in earnest all the members of Patreon and YouTube for their continuous support. And also, I would like to tell them that over the last 10 15 days, at least for the last 7 10 days, I have not given any calls towards the buy side on stocks. From now on in, they would be coming in. So these would be coming in from Monday onwards or weekend onwards. On Sunday, you'll get one, and then Tuesday and Thursday, hopefully, at least a couple of calls every week. And with the markets being stable, it seems like we could go ahead and buy some shares for positional trading as well. And that's why I have brought to you these two stocks that I will talk about in a little while. Mr. Sharma, hi. So let's just talk about the markets. The markets have been up and down and very volatile. The volatility index have been between 30 to 35. Extremely volatile days with the situation in Europe panning out the way it is. And it has been 2 years. The pandemic is beyond us. Nobody's talking about it. In fact, nobody's talking about the UP elections at the moment, but everybody's keeping an eye on Russia and Europe. uh, I feel that this will pass through maybe in the next week or so, and things will normalize. So it seems like that the market may have one jolt left in them. There could be a situation where we could go to 16,200 or go below that, say 15,900 or so. But then a rally in earnest could begin, and a decent rally at that for the next 2 3 months. Stay with the big wigs, stay with the large caps. If you are not quite, you can say, nimble footed in taking positions up and down, or taking positions and then booking profits quickly. If you want to be in mid and small caps, there have been very quality companies that have not fallen a lot. Look at those. So the markets, in my opinion, could remain a range bound between 17,500 to 16,100 or even 15,900. It is extremely difficult to pinpoint you can say, a narrower range. It has to be a broader range, but in my opinion, over the next 3 to 4 months, we could see very good levels on the market. I won't say new highs, etc., but the markets could do extremely well, especially the mid and small cap market could end up doing well. The way charts are panning out, I'm saying that because inflation will rise, oil prices have gone up. In India, oil prices will rise, but market might have priced that in at 16,000 or 15,900, whatever comes. So in that sense, we come to the point of what needs to be bought then. A couple of stocks I bring to you from the agri space that could certainly do well and have little downside in them. One is your escorts. I believe escorts between these 1830 to 1880 in that 50-point range can be accumulated. It has been consolidating since end of November when that Kubota deal was announced. The stock surged from 13 1400 all the way to 1900, and then started to consolidate, and it has been consolidating throughout December, January, and February. And probably in the next 10 15 days it may just continue to consolidate. But I believe the way the valuations are there, about 20 times earnings, it is very attractive, and the stock could easily give you 20 25% over the next 3 4 months. If the momentum picks up, its all-time high is 1920. Once that gets taken out, you can easily see 2300 on the stock. So I think 2200 to 2250 very much possible. 2200 to 2250 once 1920 is taken out. Technically speaking, the stock looks good, and with the monsoon season around from the June quarter onwards, I think things will pick up from April, mid-April, late April onwards on these stocks. So Escorts is one of my picks. Your stop loss is 1760 here. I don't see 1760 coming in. See, 1800 may breach if the market really collapses, but I think there's strong support between 1780 and 1800. So 1760 is your stop loss. Your target is 2250. You can accumulate here. Again, disclaimers do apply. These are all for educational purposes. You can definitely analyze these stocks, keep in your mind, and then take a call on your behalf. So all the disclaimers do apply. These are all my personal opinion, and whatever trades you take, it's on your responsibility. So kindly take that on note. A second stock in this space that I like, that I bought. In fact, these two stocks I did buy in November, December, but eventually I sold with a little bit of loss because I found opportunities, better opportunities somewhere else. But these look very attractive now. I sold at higher levels. These look very attractive now. Around 370, Sumitomo Chemicals looks extremely good as an agri play. The kind of numbers it has produced, around you can say 80 90% growth year on year. I think the growth will continue, and based on that, I feel that a level between 480 to 500 is very much possible on the stock. The stock is around 370 odd. I think you can keep a stop loss at 345 and have a target in somewhere in the vicinity of 450 to 470. I think 450 470 could be possible by July. A 4 5 months target that I'm talking about. But keep strict stop losses, just like I told, around 345 or so. That will help you. Its all-time high has been 416 420. Once it gets taken out, you can see a 15% move very easily. So 470 is your target, 370 is the current price, 345 is the stop loss. Again, disclaimers do apply. Do analyze and then take a call on that. So these are the two major companies that I believe, although there are many. M&M is there is a UPL, there are other companies that is in this vicinity, but these two companies have been extremely resilient, extremely strong in this phase of heavy selling in the market. I think they can very well perform going forward, but you should have a 4 to 6 months time frame and have strict stop losses in place in order to trade in this market positionally. So these are the two companies. Now I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat and super sticker feature that will help you grow the channel, that will help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. All right. See, Shiva, Adani Wilmart, in my opinion, is expensive. It could very well go down 15 20% and would then become reasonable. The numbers have to be good. The numbers for this quarter have been very decent, but there's no guarantee that going forward numbers will remain so strong because of the kind of inflationary pressure we'll see from June quarter onward. So, see, the you need to pick up stocks in this space. The companies will do well in the consumer space, but those that have already fallen a lot, those companies will not do well in the consumer space, especially in the food consumer space, which have already run up a lot, whose P is beyond 50, 60, 70, and then the numbers would be very subdued. So the stock will shrink, the PE will shrink. So kindly take that on note, unless the company is going to have a very big quarter or a very big 2 quarters, and I'm talking of the summer space and all those stocks which did not do well for the last 2 years. That is a different thing altogether. But rather consumer space, consumer food space will struggle. See, KPIT can be bought, as is Buildersoft, as is Mindtree, etc., many other mid-cap IT companies. But somehow I believe that the pressure for the next 2 quarters will remain there as well. Yes, there would be benefit of dollar appreciation, but the projects may get stalled with the European scuffle that is going on. So I would say very select stocks: L&T Infotech, LTTS, Tata Elxsi. Tata Elxsi around 64, 6,500. There's a question from Bharat. So that's your level to buy. I think current levels are good to accumulate after the run up that we saw. But in this space, you should be having a time frame of 6 to 9 months at least. They will not just go up suddenly. They will test your patience, and at least it will take 6 to 9 months for you to make any considerable or decent amount of profit. So that's what I feel. I think second half, I think by September, October, things will pick up in the IT space. But for the next 4 5 months, it could be up and down movement. It could be a sharp move upwards and then drag downwards to the same level, and so on and so forth. So I've talked about LTI already. These are good levels to buy. I think 5,500 to 6,000 would be good levels to buy into Larsen and Toubro in Fortech. Yes, so Asian Paints is falling continuously, Priya, and I believe these are golden opportunities to buy into stocks like Asian Paints and Pidilite. I don't know where is the bottom. It could be 2,600, 2,700, but below 3,000, Asian Paints looks very good. Below 2,400, Pidilite looks very good. A disclaimer: I have those two stocks. I keep on accumulating those two stocks. So kindly take that on note, and I may accumulate that going forward in a week's time or so, or probably in a few days or so. I'll buy more. These are very good levels to buy rather than thinking of the fall. I think the fall will continue. Either the fall will continue or it will get arrested and the stock will not move up because of the higher crude prices. But over the next 2 3 years, you would say that these were the levels to really get into something like an Asian Paints. Very attractive levels to buy into. Okay. I would avoid Vaibhav Global with the kind of flip flop the management have had with the stock. So I would avoid it. There are many other, you can say, IT firms that one can probably look at. See, in terms of Berger Paints, I believe that it's the same story like Asian Paints. Yes, you can accumulate. Somehow I like Asian Paints more because of the kind of management and the kind of pedigree it has had. Berger Paints, in my opinion, around 580 to 600 good levels to buy. Even now, you can start accumulating for a target of 820, 830 in the next 1 year. I think stocks should go up higher in the next 9 months to 9 to 12 months, but at the moment there will be some pain for the next say a couple of months or so until the March numbers come out and then the guidance, etc. I think there will be pressure for the next 2 months or so on paint companies. Same with something like Pidilite. See, PI industries do look good. I have talked about two companies which have been very resilient in the market and have been doing well from the agri space. But PI industry is one of the stalwarts here, although numbers have not been that great. So if you have patience enough, I mean 2 3 years time frame, yes, 2,500 very good levels to buy into something like a PI industries. Yes. Another thing I want to say here is that it is not that the markets have seen it all and it will continue to perform. You will see jerks, you will see fall because of the kind of heavy selling FII is doing and may continue to do so. I don't know for how long, but this will continue for the time being. So the markets may remain range bound for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but over the next 4 months, I see markets much higher from here. So take that on note that I'm not saying that the markets will reverse and continue to perform. I believe that going forward, we could see something like going forward, we could see something like 18,000 levels and beyond over the next 4 months or so. See, Aarti Industries is a very good company. Very few select chemical companies may continue to do well, and Aarti is one of them. One can accumulate, but again have a 9 months time horizon till end of December to probably sell into, or when you get 20-25% in it, there could be up and down movement in the same stock, so it can be accumulated. In terms of reality and infra, I believe that road infrastructure companies, KNR construction, etc., should continue to do well. In terms of real estate, I have always believed that Sobha developers and Prestige Estate and these kind of companies uh, should continue to perform extremely well, Microtech, etc., Macrotech. So rather than looking at the companies which have underperformed or stocks which have underperformed in the same sector, and you may think that they will do well, I think look at strong stocks, and these are some of the strong stocks in the real estate infra space that one can look at. I think DMart, one can look at buying around 4,000, 4,100. It has gone up. Wait for some sort of a decline to accumulate. Very good pedigree stock, but I believe it is one of the most expensive stocks in the market. So be very careful buying into it, or you should have been having a time horizon of more than, say, 7 to 8 years to really buy into something like a DMart over that period. Venkies, I believe, can be accumulated, not now because the prices and everything, raw material prices, etc., will go up probably at the end of September, all etc. Because the season, big season for Venkies would be between October and March, so that would be the time to accumulate something like Venkies. See, Polycab at 2,300 looks good. And if you get a chance to buy below 2,200, you can buy. The way the stock is behaving, I see in 6 months, 3,000 levels on the stock. I see very good traction in the stock going forward. Your stop loss is around 2,100, but one can accumulate here something like a Polycab as well. All right. Both are very good, Priya, HCL Tech and Reliance. I believe both can be accumulated here from a long term point of view. These are very attractive levels in Asian Paints, Pidilite, Reliance, say an HCL Tech, a TCS, Tech Mahindra, you name it. These are very good levels to buy into these. And even HUL and all to buy and hold and make money over a 2-3 year period. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. Can you use the kindly do subscribe to my channel and the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it, and support me on Patreon. Thank you.